Happy Monday, everybody. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Pat Cavlin here with a look at your forecast for today and beyond. We'll also do a deep drive on the tropics, and we'll also talk about your travel forecast getting into this week across the U.S. Beautiful day for us right now. We got a lot of sunshine out there. It is hot. Temperatures are already into the mid-90s, but the saving grace is that the humidity is really low, especially by August standards for us here in Southeast Texas. Dew points in the low 60s. Notice that's taken our feels like temperature from being as high as 100 and 105 to only 94. You know, when there's only 1 degree difference between the actual air temperature and what it feels like, that's an indicator that the humidity is definitely on the lower end. That being said, it doesn't feel like a fall day out there. It's still summer. We're going to be hot and dry this afternoon. Temperatures will get close to 100 degrees later today. That's just because drier air tends to warm up a lot faster than humid air. So that's why we're going to see those hot temperatures today. Now, humidity will return with a storm chance as we get into the middle of the week and really the rest of the week. We just get back into more of a typical summertime pattern. The good news, though, is that as we roll towards the peak of hurricane season here in just a few weeks, the tropics are quiet. We really don't have a lot going on out there right now. Just one tropical storm and that other wave that we were watching, gone. We'll show you that here in just a second. Radar is quiet, though. Just a couple of fair weather clouds on satellite down towards the coast, but that's pretty much it. Now, to the north and east, a really early season cold front pushed through the southeast that's got gorgeous weather now. Places like Atlanta, Nashville, up towards Raleigh and Charlotte, just unusually cool, dry air. We're still on the warm side of things. So this is the dry side of the front. This is the warm side of the front. Again, humidity isn't terrible right now, but it's certainly not as dry as it is to the north. And then up towards Oklahoma, we've got a complex of storms that are kind of riding along this front. Those will keep moving towards the east. I think we're going to stay pretty quiet here storm-wise until at least we get to tomorrow and Wednesday. Looking ahead, though, temperature-wise, through the beginning of September, cooler weather hangs on across the east and even across the central part of the U.S. Unfortunately, though, for us here in South Texas, things stay hot. We're not going to be well above average. I think temperatures will be at or maybe just a degree or two warmer than normal, but our average this time of year is 93. So again, even normal temperatures are in the hot category for us. Through the rest of today, though, sunny, hot, just a stray shower chance. Getting into tomorrow, that complex of storms will kind of move towards the east and stretch out along this boundary. So all those storm rain and rain chances will stay put along the Red River Valley getting into Oklahoma. For us, though, with humidity coming back in from the Gulf, we'll see the chance for a few afternoon storms, and I think we'll hang on to that threat as we get into Wednesday as well. Temperatures are hot right now, low to mid 90s out there across Harris County and across really the rest of Southeast Texas, upper 80s, low 90s. And again, this is as of 12:30. So if you're watching this later this afternoon, obviously it's warmer outside, but this is what I really want to show you, the dew point map. This is how we measure humidity. The darker the green, the more humid. And notice we don't have a lot of dark green on the map, just down towards the coast. Palacios still cooking with terrible humidity. Katy, it's still pretty humid for you, but wherever you see dew points in the mid 60s or even the lower 60s, that indicates drier air. And I think the air will continue to dry out through the afternoon. Notice 4, 5 o'clock, dew points in the low 60s for us in the city, upper 50s for College Station. That humidity will hang on towards the coast, but I think the rest of the area will feel okay as we head through the next few hours. Now, by tomorrow, dark green starts to return to the map, indicating higher levels of humidity, and that'll usher in some rain and storm chances for us as well. So we go only from a 10% shower chance today to more of a scattered 40% chance for downpours and thunderstorms. Really the rest of the week. I think Thursday we may see some quieter weather, but really Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, more scattered afternoon downpours and storms not out of the question. So there it is for you tomorrow. 3, 4, 5 o'clock, the typical time frame for storms. They'll start to come in from the Gulf. It's not for everyone. If you get one, though, it's a quick cooling shower. Should wrap up by 8 to 9 p.m. I think for Wednesday, we may actually start a little bit earlier with the rain chances at the coast first, and I think it'll stay at the coast at least through the first half of the day. But by the afternoon, there is the chance for a couple of those storms to spread farther north. Again, only a 40% chance for rain. Not everyone sees it. Probably some higher rain chances, 50 or 60% chance south of the interstate across the coast. But that's pretty much what we're going to be dealing with here as we go through much of this week. In the tropics, good news That wave that we were watching down here in the Caribbean, gone off the map. It fell apart. I don't see any potential for redevelopment here as we go through the next few days because the conditions down there are so hostile. We're still watching Tropical Storm Fernan. This is to the east of Bermuda, and it will continue to move away from land the next few days before it falls apart heading into Wednesday. Pretty decent storm, those 60-mile-per-hour winds, but again, it's not an issue for anybody, not even Bermuda will see impacts from that storm. Next name on the list is Gabrielle. That's going to be the next storm if we have one develop. There's nothing on the map for us again after Fernan falls apart, and we're only a couple names down on the list, so we still have obviously a long way to go in the season. Hurricane season peaks on September 10th, and so we are getting closer to that point, but we're not there yet. But I would say between now and mid-October, this is just a word of caution, between now and mid-October does mark the climatological or historical peak of the hurricane season. So 2/3 of all hurricane activity happens between now and mid to late October. So even though there's nothing out there right now, things can turn pretty quick. So stay on your guard, stay on top of the forecast here as we go through the coming weeks. Doing any traveling for tomorrow across the Northeast, weather just looks great. Temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s, up and down from Boston down to DC and Richmond. Low humidity, a lot of sunshine, even cooler off the Great Lakes from Syracuse to Pittsburgh and Cleveland in the 60s and 70s. Southeast is pretty warm. Again, beautiful weather here. Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte, low 80s, low humidity with sunshine. More humidity and hotter weather in the 90s from New Orleans to Florida. A couple storms possible down through Tampa. Miami looks good, though, at 90 degrees. Here across the state tomorrow, again, couple storms for us, mid-90s. We'll do upper 90s for San Antonio. In and out of storm chances for Dallas, upper 80s. And then cooler behind that front, low 70s for Oklahoma City with showers, hot and sunny out in El Paso. Kansas City to St. Louis and Springfield, Omaha, 70s and 80s. Beautiful weather for the Great Plains and the Great Lakes here. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s with low humidity and sunshine. Back across the west, a lot cooler now with some monsoonal flow coming in to Salt Lake, through Phoenix, Denver. Temperatures for Salt Lake and Denver only in the 70s. Phoenix won't even get to 100 degrees tomorrow with a couple of storms possible. Flagstaff in the low 70s, and of course gorgeous weather from LA to San Francisco in the 70s and 80s. And then finally in the Pacific Northwest, Portland at 93, Medford, Oregon coming in with the hot spot tomorrow, 102. Beautiful in Seattle at 88 with sunshine, hot in Spokane, and 70s and 80s across the Intermountain West. 77 for us here at home overnight tonight with mainly clear skies. As we get you into Tuesday, we're talking about, again, more humidity and more storm chances. 96 will do it for your high temperature. There's the next 7 days, so 99 for today with sunshine. More scattered storm chances for Tuesday and Wednesday. More of an isolated chance then, I think, as we get into Thursday. And then back to the upper 90s Friday with a couple of storms. Another push of cooler air, a little bit of a front will try to push in again Friday into Saturday. That could knock us down to the low and mid 90s. But again, scattered storm chances, typical summer weather in play for us pretty much all the way into the beginning of September. That's a look at your forecast here on KHOU 11+. We'll have another update on this forecast and what's going on in the tropics coming up on the KHOU 11 News at 4 o'clock. We hope to see you then.